Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTGO Traders. My name is Taryn, and this is Mono White Lifelink in Guilds of Ravnica Standard. What's up guys, welcome to Standard Smackdown. This is the video where I do a deck tech, go over a deck list, and of course go through a few matches on Magic Online. If that sounds like fun to you, make sure to like it if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever a new video comes up on the channel. Today's deck list is Mono White Lifelink, a pretty aggressive deck list that uses a lot of residual life gain tactics to make pretty large creatures and elongate the match a lot longer than most decks in the format can actually handle. We have really great early game attackers like Healer's Hawk and Ajani's Pridemate, great mid-game finishers like Resplendent Angel and Lyra Dawnbringer, and just fantastic control options for us like Dawn of Hope. And as always, these videos are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Get your Magic Online singles from MTGO Traders and your paper singles and accessories from Cape Fear Games. First up, let's start with our small creature curve. We have 4 Healer's Hawk, 4 Leonin Vanguard, and 4 Ajani's Pridemate. Healer's Hawk, Leonin Vanguard, and Pridemate all work really nicely together with good synergy of gaining life, making the Pridemate larger, and Healer's Hawk and the Vanguard just making her life larger and elongating the match. Healer's Hawk is probably the best turn 1 play you can have. A 1 mana 1/1 flyer with lifelink is pretty baller. Shot caller. And Leonin Vanguard is very good as well on turn 1 too. However, Leonin Vanguard might be removed on turn 1 since it can gain you passive life gain without you really attacking it at all. So Healer's Hawk is a good turn 1 play, and then Vanguard turn 2 into another Healer's Hawk or something like that. So pretty good on that. And Ajani's Pridemate, again, probably the best attacker in the deck list, very aggressive. It's a 2 mana 2/2, but whenever we gain life, we put a +1/+1 counter on it, and that just grows turn over turn. This can be a 5/5, a 6/6, this can be a 10/10 if you gain that much life and your opponent does not have removal for it. Moving on to our heavy hitters in the deck list, we have 4 Resplendent Angel and 2 Lyra Dawnbringer. Now 2 of these are actually quite good, Lyra Dawnbringer being a great example here. It's actually a 5 mana 5/5 flying first strike lifelink, but it also gives other angels we control +1/+1 and lifelink. And since Resplendent Angel is an angel itself, it turns into a 4/4 lifelinker, and all we need is 1 more extra life for Resplendent Angel's ability to kind of kick in, which means if we do gain 5 or more life in a turn, we create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Super good. We can also pay 6 mana and give Resplendent Angel +2/+2 and lifelink as well, making sure that that ability does go off by itself. So if the opponent doesn't have removal for Resplendent Angel, they gotta find it pretty quickly because they're gonna have a lot of tokens coming over their face and into their life total, ending the game extremely quickly. So only 18 creatures in the deck list in total, not a lot if you look at it, but again, this is about life gain. This is about kind of lots of value turn over turn, and luckily for us, life gain means that the game is going to go a lot longer than a lot of people expect, and that's very good for our creature base. Moving on to removal for the deck list, we have 3 Gideon's Reproach and 4 Conclave Tribunal. Again, Goblin Chainwhirler still in the deck lists of most aggro lists right now, so this can get around to that. It can also get around a lot of the first strike stuff, and Gideon's Reproach is great on attack and block. So if an opponent is blocking, we can just use Gideon's Reproach and hopefully end up either with a trade or just remove of a creature. Very good card, gets around a lot of good stuff for us. Conclave Tribunal just gets around everything for us. And the best part about Conclave Tribunal is that it's a 4 mana with Convoke, which means we can use our creatures to cast this, meaning it can be very cheap for us for mana consumption abilities. And again, it grabs target non-land permanent and exiles it until Conclave Tribunal leaves the battlefield. So if an opponent has a pesky enchantment or a planeswalker on the battlefield, we're going to use a Tribunal and grab it. More often than not, we're going to use Tribunal to grab their other Lyra Dawnbringer or their large, Rekindling Phoenix or a Arclight Phoenix, something like that to slow them down, or of course their Drake, their Crackling Drake in the Is It Drake's deck. So Conclave Tribunal, again, great removal and great to see it in this deck list. Moving on to more life gain here and a little bit of creature gain, we have 4 Fountain of Renewal, 4 Dawn of Hope, and 4 Legion's Landing. Now, Fountain of Renewal is great on turn 1 if we don't have a Healer's Hawk in our hand or a Leonin Vanguard. It's a 1 mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, we gain 1 life. We can pay 3, sacrifice it, and draw a card. More often than not, we're not going to use this to draw a card. We're going to use Dawn of Hope, which is a little bit different here. It's a 2 mana enchantment. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 2 colorless. If you do draw a card, we can pay 4 and create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. This is a great card for us because if an opponent is just a little bit slow, Dawn of Hope is just going to overtake the match, especially if we have Fountain of Renewal and Dawn of Hope on the battlefield at the same time. It's going to gain us a lot of value, giving us the ability to draw a card for just 2 mana every single turn. That's 2 cards per turn, basically, and that means we're probably going to get into a lot more mana, more than we would otherwise, meaning that we'll be able to play more mana, and that 2 mana we're paying for that draw spell is not that much whenever you compare it to how many cards we're actually drawing in the match. Next up for us, we have Legion's Landing, a 1 mana legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, we get a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. That alone's pretty good for our Ajani's Pridemate and going towards our Resplendent Angel, kind of triggering here. But if we attack with 3 more creatures, we flip it into a Dantope the First Fort, making it a mana tapper for us for white mana, or we can pay 3 and create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Now keep in mind we have a lot of lifelink in the game, and so, or in the deck list here. And Dantope, again, very, very good. So this is a card that's going to be underestimated by a lot of opponents in game 1. They're going to die to it most likely if they're control or mid-range, and then they're going to side in Enchantment Hate for Dantope, and that's when you kind of just win because they're siding in against Enchantment Hate for a single card when the rest of your deck list is super aggressive with Ajani's Pridemate, Resplendent Angel, and Lyra Dawnbringer. As far as the land base, there's only 23 lands. I didn't want to muck up the land base too much. We could have put in some detection towers if we wanted to, but we really do need that white mana for that Dawnbringer and Resplendent Angel in the deck list. So moving on to our sideboard here, we've got a lot of good stuff against the Golgari mid-range, against the Izzet Drake's list, and of course against the more like mid-rangey to aggro lists or control lists as well. First up, we have some creatures. This is a Danto Vanguard and Tocatli Honor Guard. Both of these are doing really good things for us for the Golgari mid-range list. A Danto Vanguard is a 2 mana 1/1 that gets +2/+2 as long as it's attacking, and you can pay for life and make it indestructible. This is very good against the Golgari mid-range list, as is Tocatli Honor Guard. It's a 2 mana 1/3. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. You'll notice in the deck list here, we don't really have anything causing abilities to trigger for us in the actual deck list, so that's very, very good. So Tocatli Honor Guard doesn't really affect us in any way at all, but this does affect Golgari mid-range a ton, and of course some of the random like Vishino Pyromancer in the Rakdos or the mono red burn decks. Moving on for some extra removal here, we have Invoke the Divine and 2 Ixalan's Binding. Invoke the Divine here is very good against the artifacts and enchantment decks right now. Of course, we have lots of Conclave Tribunals or Ixalan's Bindings hitting the battlefield against us. Invoke the Divine is great for us, and it's also good because we're gaining 4 life as well, almost enough to gain a 4/4 flyer thanks to Resplendent Angel. So just gain 1 more life that turn, and we'll get a 4/4 flyer for our trouble. Along with Invoke the Divine, we have Ixalan's Binding here. Another great card for us, giving us the ability to kind of shut down an entire creature strategy. This is a card you want to bring in against the Arclight Phoenix and Izzet Drake decks, because they really only have 8 creatures in their deck list, like, you know, Crackling Drake, Arclight Phoenix, and they may have some Goblin Electromancers. You don't really need to worry about that as much, but the Crackling Drake shutting that down with an Ixalan's Binding, because they have no real way to interact with it in game 1, probably even in game 2 because they may not have a blink of an eye in their main board. Ixalan's Binding is fantastic at shutting down that strategy and just making sure you can close out the game with a GG. The last 2 cards in the sideboard here for us are 3 Make a Stand and 2 Settle the Wreckage. Now, these are doing very different things for us. Make a Stand is the 3 mana instant. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. This is here for the mid-range Jeskai control matchups, as well as the Boros aggro matchups. Deafening Clarion is a real card and can really wreck us in the early game. We want to make sure we bring in Make a Stand to survive those sweeps, and make sure that we can actually just do some extra damage as well for that turn. Settle the Wreckage is here for the Arclight Phoenix and the Crackling Drake decks, as well as the Jeskai control decks. They're going to have those large flyers like Lyra, Dawnbringer, Arclight Phoenix, Crackling Drake, that kind of stuff. So Settle the Wreckage is great at shutting that down as well. This is also very good against Golgari midrange, as it does exile the creatures, so they can't return it thanks to Golgari Finebroker or something like that. Just a fantastic card for 4 mana. Again, instant. They do get some mana out of the deal, so we want to make sure this is a very sweet deal for us as we cast it. But if we do have 4 mana untapped, more than likely they'll know that we're bluffing a Settle the Wreckage and not attack in, but we'll see what happens during the matches. And that is the full 75. If you're looking to build this on Magic Online, MTGO Traders has this for just under 30 tickets, and if you're looking to build this in paper Magic, it's coming to about 173 bucks in paper. Of course, the reason for that is Resplendent Angel, Lyra Dawnbringer, and Legion's Landing are quite a bit in the deck list, and those are all key cards to make this deck list work. Sorry about that. Settle the Wreckage, of course, being a few bucks as well. But let's get into some matches and see how this deck performs. Alright guys, let's get into match 1 for Standard Smackdown and Mono White Lifegain, again in Standard. Have an opening hand of 2 lands, Vanguard, Renewal, Tribunal, and Lyra Dawnbringer. I like the turn 1 play with the Renewal into Ajani's Pridemate off the top. Fantastic. Selesnya looks like for opponent here, and Amara, there we go. Definitely on Selesnya tokens. Let's go for another land here, go for Ajani's Pridemate pass turn. Now they can't go for a Conclave Tribunal if they hit a land here. Do they go for it this early in the game? Or do they just attack in and make some tokens? Let's see. Saplings, yep, getting in for 2 here, no problem. Down to that, and then of course, getting some life, Pridemate goes up to a 3/3. Let's go with the Vanguard and another Vanguard. This makes the Pridemate for us quite large. This actually makes the Pridemate a 5/5 on turn 3. Just so much value here for us. We're actually going to pass turn though, thanks to all of the tokens on their side of the field. This could leave us open for a Conclave Tribunal though. Nope, they're going to go with a Venerated Loxodon. Now, thankfully, we have a Tribunal in our hand, so we can grab the Loxodon or Amara, depending on what we want to do. Ooh, and Shanna. All right. That's not good. But, of course, the Pridemate will be gaining life as well for us. I think we want to go with the Tribunal here and grab either Amara or the Loxodon. Let's go with a Amara pick here. I like that because, again, that's a token producer for them. And Pridemate can still take anything on their side of the field quite well, so 3 cards in hand for the opponent here. Song of Freyles for the opponent. Would love a land off the top. We do have 23 lands in the deck list, so we can sometimes get into a situation where we're not top decking lands as often as we need to be. So if you want to cut a card, maybe cut a Fountain of Renewal into a 24 land total. But either way, I really like how this is shaping up. Opponent going for a large split there. We're just going to scoop it up and go into game 2 here. So Legendary tokens can be very difficult for us if we don't have Sell the Wreckage in game 1. We're also bringing in Ixalan's Binding over a Conclave Tribunal. And let's hope that game 2 for us is a little bit more aggressive, and of course hitting more lands would be great too. Either way, still like how the deck list kind of fared there. Pridemate doing a good job, but you know, can't really do anything against that many creatures. 3 lands, I'll take it. Dawn of Hope, Vanguard, and Ajani's Pridemate being the key cards in the hand, and of course a late game Settle the Wreckage is fantastic too against a go wide strategy. Legion's Landing for the opponent here. We also get into our own Legion's Landing. Let's go landing here into just a pass turn. We could have gone for a Pridemate or Dawn of Hope instead. Not really feeling either one of those. Pridemate, ooh, off the top as well. Let's go Pridemate here, and this is going to make a 4/4 Pridemate if we do attack in with the Vampire. But we definitely want to get that Legion's Landing flip to make sure we have 4 mana for the Settle the Wreckage. So saving that for a turn. Arc of Vraska for the opponent, 5 cards in hand in total. Looks like maybe a pass here. We do hit our 4th land drop. That's quite good here. Let's go Dawn of Hope into a life gain here. Maybe draw some cards. There we go. Got a Fountain of Renewal. And let's just get in for a 3-way attack, flipping the Adanto Vanguard, or Adanto the first fort, sorry. Pridemate going up even larger and getting Fountain of Renewal. So we have a card draw engine with Dawn of Hope and Fountain of Renewal. Just a great way for us to gain value over and over again. Conclave Tribunal grabbing the Pridemate. That's actually not bad because we have one in our hand. And since Dawn of Hope and Fountain of Renewal are here for us to just be a draw engine, we're totally fine with just playing out the game as it is now. If opponent doesn't have any enchantment hate for the Dawn of Hope, then we just win here, since we gain so much life, so much card advantage, and the Pridemates just get larger and larger. They're down to 11. We're at 26. 4 cards in hand for them. Let's see what they're going into here. Maybe another Tribunal for the Pridemate? Could be the case. We're tapping out here for something. Ah, Tristani Discordant. Okay, so Ixalan's Binding can grab that if we want to. I think that's fine. This does create 2 1/1s, which are actually 2/2s thanks to Tristani. And Tristani's instep ability, which doesn't matter. And we gain some life. We could draw. Let's go with a draw there. And binding that. Got a Resplendent Angel for the deal as well. And we're just swinging in here with everyone. Blocking the 8/8, of course, and they're taking 5, going down to 7. Do they have anything? Now, Settle the Wreckage can, of course, wreck us, literally. Conclave Tribunal grabbing Ajani's Pridemate. Again, that's kind of a bad move for the opponent because we still have some good life gains options here for us, so Dawn of Hope is going to grab into some good stuff for us. We're going to draw some cards, play a land, go Resplendent Angel here. We'll have gained 5 life. I believe. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. We only gained 4 life that turn, so not 5. So Resplendent Angel does not go off. However, we do have 6 mana. Lyra Dawnbringer from the opponent here. That's quite a good card for them. We are at 32, they're at 4, so I'm not really sure how they're going to be able to turn this around. We do need to get into a Ixalan's Binding or maybe just another Gideon's Reproach. That could probably work, right? Why? Yep, there we go. So let's just get in for a full attack here. Healer's Hawk. We have 4 mana up for 2 Gideon's Reproach. Let's see how they block here. They are tapped out, so they have no way to counteract this. They're going to double block with the Vanguard there. And we're just going to Reproach down to 3. Opponent has to top deck something. What do they got? Nothing. Nice. Let's get into game 3 here. Probably fair to bring in Conclave Tribunal over some Gideon's Reproaches, thanks to seeing that Lyra Dawnbringer. Gideon's Reproach, very good card, but not that great against the Dawnbringer since it is a 5 toughness creature. So, opening hand is 4 lands, a Vanguard, Tribunal, and Pridemate. Pretty good for us. We're going to go with a keep here. Hope you guys aren't tilted by the mismatched art on the lands. Either way, we're doing well. Got a top deck on the land there. Go with the Vanguard and pass. They will flower on their turn into a Legion's Landing, so not bad. We're going to go with Ajani's Pridemate here. Have a pretty perfect curve with the Resplendent Angel as well. Song of Freyalise from the opponent, 2 cards in hand. Let's go with the Resplendent Angel, gain some life, and attack in with our Pridemate and our Vanguard. Seems pretty decent. Go down to 15, we're at 21. Now the Vanguard can, of course, tap 4 mana if they need it to. Shalai, Voice of Plenty. Conclave Tribunal being in our hand is pretty perfect as well, so we're just going to go for that. We curved out pretty much perfectly this entire match. Turn 4 attacking in for quite a bit there. And they're at 6. Do they have anything? They don't! Nice! Alright, let's get into match 2 of Standard Smackdown. Again, this deck is really flexible in that it can be really aggressive in the early game, or can just kind of go the long game with Dawn of Hope and Fountain of Renewal. That's one of the best things about the mono White Lifegain deck. Let's go with a Legion's Landing on turn 1. We have Healer's Hawk as well, so we can do that too. Let's see what we get into. Steam Vents for the opponent. This looks like the Is It Drake's list. Let's go with a Ajani's Pridemate, get in for a Vampire here, and make the Pridemate a 3/3. This means it can survive shocks, but cannot survive Lightning Strike or Lava Coil. Sulfur Falls for the opponent. Do we see Lava Coil? We do. Let's go with this Plains here. Let's go Resplendent Angel on turn 3. This could have been a mistake. They have 6 cards in hand, so might have been better to go with Healer's Hawk and Legion's Landing. However, I have seen some of the Is It Drake lists going for Fiery Cannonade in the early game as well, so we want to be careful about that. Goblin Electromancer from the opponent. Looks like a pass here. Let's go with a land here. I think we want to go with a Healer's Hawk. Let's get in for an attack. 3 in the air. And hold on to the Legion's Landing. Let's see what opponent's going to do on this next turn here. Maybe a, shock to the Healer's Hawk there. Not great. 5 cards in hand for the opponent. Opt for the opponent once again. Goblin Electromancer making a lot of the 2 mana spells 1 mana spells, so we could see some Charter Courses, Radical Ideas. Beacon Bolt from the opponent, getting rid of our Resplendent Angel. Not good. 5 cards, or 5 lands on our side of the field in past turn here. Radical Idea for the opponent. All you need to do now is get into either a Drake or, there it is, Phoenix in the graveyard there. Radical Idea into another Arclight Phoenix, Radical Idea, and a Discovery. If they hit another Arclight Phoenix, that would be 3 coming towards our face. Land for turn, 3 cards in hand, and of course the 2 Arclight Phoenixes come back from the graveyard to the battlefield, swinging in for 6. With the Goblin Electromancer swinging as well, so quite a bit of damage this turn. 8 in total. I think we'll take that, that's fine. Down to 14. Charter Course for the opponent. And land, Healer's Hawk, and I think I'm going to go with a Legion's Landing here. Pick that, make another creature, and just get in for 1. Trying to make sure we can get around their Phoenixes here. But we are in top deck mode. We would love to have a Dawn of Hope to give us some way of extending the match a little bit. Conclave Tribunal is also pretty good for the Arclight Phoenixes as well. And Gideon's Reproach is pretty good as well too. So 4 cards in opponent's hand here. They're attacking out for 8 once again. Down to 7. Drake from the opponent to 10-4. Tribunal is perfect here. We're going to grab that Drake and make sure we can actually last the match here. Going for 3 points of damage. Flipping the Vanguard. Or the Adanto, the first 4. I keep saying Adanto Vanguard in my brain for some reason. We're at 10. Can they do shock damage this turn? If they can, then that's going to be it for this game. And then we'll go into a game 2. feel like we're probably dead here. The amount of stuff that the opponent can draw into is just maddening, so it's going to be really difficult for us to kind of get around that. Down to 2. Do they see Shock? There it is. Nice. Let's go for game 2 here. We're bringing in Settle the Wreckage, bringing in Ixalan's Binding. Takali Honor Guard isn't that great here. Neither is Make a Stand or the Adanto Vanguard. We are taking out Fountain of Renewal, though. And we're just hitting Submit. Renewal is great with the Dawn of Hope, giving us a card draw engine, but we have a lot of stuff in our deck to gain life as well, so should be alright. Really want to opt more towards the Bindings and the Settle the Wreckage for the deck list, because those Arclight Phoenixes and Crackling Drakes really do wreck you in a few turns. Just got to be a little bit faster and have a little bit better of draw on the opening hand here. 4 lands, Pridemate Angel, and Reproach. I like this because of the Reproach being in our hand, so we'll go with a keep here. Land drop for the opponent. Let's go with a Vanguard and pass. This might get shocked. If that's the case, yeah, opponent's thinking about it. Nope, they didn't. Nice. Do we see a Lava Coil then instead? Sulfur Falls from the opponent, 7 cards in hand. Might be better for them to go for Arclight Phoenix, Tormenting Voice. There we go. Land drop for us. Let's go with a Resplendent Angel and just get in for 1. We're trying to make sure they get rid of their removal from their hand first, so that when they're tapped out, we can go Ixalan's Binding onto a Arclight Phoenix. There's a Lava Coil or a Crackling Drake. Land drop for us. Let's go Dawn of Hope here and probably go Pridemate or hold up the Reproach. I think we hold up the Reproach here just because they're getting to the point where they have enough mana to cast multiple cards in a turn. Down to 18. You know what? Let's go for Pridemate and pass turn. This helps. There's a shock there. That would have helped on the Lena Vanguard getting its life with Dawn of Hope, but sadly no. Opponent's tapping out here for a Crackling Drake. This is perfect because we have Binding in our hand. Just going to grab that and get in for 1. Keep in mind the Is It Drake lists have basically one option for the Binding there. And this deck has Discovery, so they do have Dispersal in the second half of that. Conclave Tribunal, we're going to grab the Phoenix there and just get in for 1 once again, down to 16. Lots of ways for us to, get rid of stuff. We also have Dawn of Hope on the battlefield as well, so if they do decide to go with Dispersal, we can go with a Dawn of Hope. Just get rid of that out of our hand, or out of our field. Steam Vents being discarded there. Shock on the Vanguard. That does suck, but they're getting back the Arclight Phoenix here, getting in for 3. I think we want to just go with a pass here. Maybe go Dawn of Hope, make a 1/1 lifelinker on their instep, 4 cards in hand, 6 mana, getting in for 3. Let's go with a Reproach here. Resplendent Angel or... let's go Vanguard, hold up Reproach. Lots of options for us here. Trying to play around stuff. Entrancing Melody for the opponent here. That is not good. Alright, go with a land drop for us. I think we go with a Resplendent Angel, hold up a Gideon's Reproach, pass. This does leave us open for a Lava Coil. Opponent is down to 13 minutes on the clock, so they're taking their sweet time. They're gonna scoop it up there. Not having the ability to cast Crackling Drakes really does hurt them. But Ixalan's Binding won the match there. Let's bring in the Vanguards to kind of survive the Lava Coils. Opening hand is 3 land with lots of powerful creatures. Let's go with a Healer's Hawk, pass. There's an immediate shock. There we go. That's fine. That means that the Ajani's Pridemate might have an actual chance of living. So we'll go with a Dawn of Hope first, though. 6 cards in hand. 3 mana for the opponent. Let's go with a land into a Pridemate. Do we see a shock? We do not. Do we see a Lava Coil this turn? Might be better to go with a Goblin Electromancer into a Lava Coil. Sulfur Falls for the opponent, going up to 4 lands. Crackling Drake. It is a 1/4, so it's not terrible. However, I am kind of puzzled in why they would do that so early. We have 4 mana here, so if we had Binding in our hand, that would suck for them. Let's go with a 2/2 attack here. Opponent does not block, so they do know that we might have a Gideon's Reproach in hand. 6 cards in hand. Gonna go with a Lava Coil on a Pridemate. Another Lava Coil. Ouch. Land for turn and attack in for 3. We're gonna go Gideon's Reproach and just get rid of that Drake. 3 cards in hand. Land drop. Go for Resplendent Angel. Seems like a good idea. Reproach in hand to be able to block a Arclight Phoenix if they go off on something. Arclight Phoenix is just being hardcast. Wow. Maybe a pass for the opponent here. If we hit a land, we can go Angel, but it actually makes more sense to just attack in here. Let's see. The issue for me is if they have Shock, then we actually lose our Angel. So we want to go with the Reproach here instead. Trying to play around a Shock. Arclight Phoenix from the opponent once again, so it puts us in the same situation. But we do have enough mana to go with a Lifelinker here. And let's go with a Legion's Landing as well. Let's gain some life here. They're probably going to block it with the Arclight Phoenix, but this way we gain a card thanks to Dawn of Hope. Another Resplendent Angel. That's not bad. This gives us lots of options here. Tormenting Voice from the opponent. They're trying to go for that other Phoenix in the graveyard. Opt, and I'm sure they're probably going to get it this time. 3 cards in hand. Opt again. So that other Arclight Phoenix does come back from the graveyard. We are at 21, so we don't really have to worry that much about the hit Shock from the opponent there. So that was the Shock they probably had earlier on in the game. They may have another Shock in their hand still, but they're going to go with a pass here. Let's go with an attack maybe with just one creature. This is going to make us have a 4/4 Vigilance Angel. Wow, opponent double blocking here. That's very interesting. This does cause the creature to die, but we still get a 4/4 out of it, and they lose both of their Phoenixes. So unless they have a way to get back their Phoenixes, that might be game. Bit of a misplay from the opponent there. There's a Radical Idea into probably another Radical Idea. Yep. And something else probably, right? No, they didn't hit it. Oh, no. Oh, that's good for us. Let's get in here for 7. We're not going to use the pump ability for the Resplendent Angel this turn. Let's go with Legion's Landing instead. Trying to save ourselves from getting Lightning Striked or something like that. Crackling Drake from the opponent here. It's an 8/4. But we have Gideon's Reproach in our hand, so Reproach can just deal with the Drake all day long. And unless they have a negate in hand, we just win here. Entrancing Melody taking control of our Angel. Very good against tokens. Let's go down to Hope, make a 1/1. We still attack out here with everybody. Flipping Legion's Landing into a Dawn to the first fort. 8/4 or the 9/4 is blocking the 3/3, and the 4/4 is blocking the 1/1. Let's go Reproach, get rid of the Drake. They do 1 point of damage. We gain 2 life, so we can actually draw 2 cards here. And we're going to do that. Dawnbringer in our hand is not bad. Now let's go with a pass. Again, you'll notice Dawn of Hope is really winning the game for us because we're continually drawing into gas. Chart of Course from the opponent here. Drawing cards, discarding a card. Another Chart of Course. Do they get their Phoenixes back this turn? They just drew 4 cards. Looks like they do. Yeah, Tormenting Voice. Nice. Good on the opponent there. Getting back 3 Arclight Phoenixes. Now we have 28 life in total, so we'll still be able to do some damage. They're under 5 minutes on the clock as well. I think we want to attack out with the 3/3, but we could just wait with a Dawnbringer play. Let's just go with a 1/1 attack. Gain some life, draw a card. Yeah, it's fine. And let's go with a Dawnbringer play. Could go with a Vanguard play as well. And an Opt from the opponent. Lyra Dawnbringer is able to eat anything, so if they have 2 Lava Coils or a Lava Coil and a Shock, they can deal with it. And they are drawing a lot of cards. Arclight Phoenix just got thrown into the graveyard there, so I think they'll have their 4th one this turn as well. And this is kind of the fear for the Izzet Drake deck. They can just kind of go off like crazy, especially when Goblin Electromancer is on the battlefield. So definitely getting the Arclight Phoenix this turn. The best thing for us though is that Lava Coil cannot really deal with Arclight Phoenix by itself, so we're just going to eat a token here. And we could eat something with the Angel, but we're just going to take the 12. That's the best part, we can take 12 points of damage and be relatively okay about that. Thanks to Lyra Dawnbringer and of course Resplendent Angel. And we gain 5 life there, so we actually get a token. And that's it. Nice. Opponent did not really account for the token gain there. And that's to be expected. Resplendent Angel isn't that popular in the format right now, but can definitely go the long game. They kind of had a bad attack there. So let's get into game 3 and see what we can do. Looks like maybe Dimir. Ooh, Lazav Multifarious getting rid of a counter spell here. Dawn of Hope into a Thought Erasure. Ouch. Probably get rid of the Fountain of Renewal. That's my pick. They could get rid of the... Yep. Well, Resplendent Angel's alright too. Fountain of Renewal is perfect for this though. Let's go Pridemate into Fountain. Since their deck is a Dimir deck, it's going to be more of a mid-range to long-game deck, so Dawn of Hope, Fountain of Renewal combo, pretty much perfect. I don't know what the opponent was thinking there. Let's go Healer's Hawk into a Vanguard past turn. Golden Demise could hurt. There's a moment of craving there. Getting in for 1, we'll take it. Again, the Fountain of Renewal just basically canceling out the Lazav there. Let's get in for 1. Plains in hand, Conclave Tribunal, and Gideon's Reproach. Doomed Whisperer here. 1 card in hand for the opponent. Now, they don't have enough mana up for a counter, so we're going to draw a card, play a land, and go with a Conclave Tribunal. They're going to go with some Surveils here. There's a Blood Operative. That Blood Operative, can definitely come back to their hand, and they're going to do that. Let's get rid of the Doom Whisperer and pass turn. Lyra Dawnbringer being on the field next turn is going to be very good for us as well. Thief of Sanity also being a card. I think we draw a card here. Drawing a little bit too much land. Let's go Lyra Dawnbringer and pass turn. Dawnbringer does deal with the Thief of Sanity. Ooh, Nightveil Predator. That is a hard to deal with creature. I think we want to go with just a 5/5 attacking in here. Gain some life, go to 26. And Reproach is great for us. Maybe go with a second Renewal. That's pretty good too. The worst part about their board state is we can't deal with the Nightveil Predator. Getting rid of Thief of Sanity, and that means the Lazav will most likely turn into the Thief of Sanity. Part of it. They are down to 9 though, and that was an all-out attack. They do go up to 12. Thanks to the Blood Operative. Blood Operative is a lifelinker. Gonna draw some cards. Ooh, 2 Tribunals here. Pretty perfect. Let's get rid of the Thief of Sanity. And attack in for 5, 6 on the ground. Down to 6 at 25. Does opponent have anything? Getting in for 6 here. Up to 9. And again, Fountain of Renewal, Dawn of Hope. They're just doing the work for us. 2 more Conclave Tribunals in our hand. We can't hold that Tribunal. Let's go for an attack here. 1 card in hand. Dream Eater is the card they have in their hand. Ouch. This hurts a lot because of the bounce ability for the Lyra Dawnbringer. We can, of course, recast the Dawnbringer this turn if we want to, or we could go for a Conclave Tribunal on the Dream Eater. They eat our Vanguard there. I think we go Healer's Hawk into a Vanguard, into a Tribunal, grab the Dream Eater. Might have been a better idea to grab the Blood Operative since the Blood Operative is a lifelinker. Ooh, Curious Obsession onto the Predator. That is no good. They do gain life, they draw a card there thanks to the Predator. And they get a Lyra Dawnbringer thanks to Thief of Sanity, so now we know what they grabbed. I think it's a good idea to go with probably... Do we have enough mana for all of this? Counting real quick. Let's go Dawnbringer into a Tribunal, grabbing the other Dawnbringer. And just hit in for 1. That seems good. Not bad, not bad. Now keep in mind, Dawnbringer is a first striker, so if they attack in with the Predator, we can still get rid of it. And having Resplendent Angel in our hand as well is quite good too. Let's see what opponent's going to do though in the next turn. 1 card in hand, drawing into their 2nd card in hand. We could use a Fountain of Renewal next turn to draw some more as well. But I can't believe we've used all 4 of our Tribunals in game 1. That's insane. They've all been pretty good hits too. Price of Fame for the opponent. Ouch, that hurts so bad. It's a 2-mana removal spell for a legendary creature. That is not good. But of course we have Dawn of Hopes and a Fountain of Renewal to draw some stuff next turn, so 1 card in hand. They'll be able to draw, let's see, another card this turn. Down to 16 for me. Main phase 2 going Blood Operative. Alright, getting rid of the Lyra Dawnbringer. We don't really care about that. And a second Curious Obsession, making that a 5/5. Howie. Let's draw some cards here. Too much land. Ouch. I think we want to go with maybe a second Dawn of Hope. Get in for 1. Draw some cards. Drawing all of our land right now. That's not good. Yeah, they're getting in for 8 there. They draw 2 cards. They play a land and go Thought Erasure. We have nothing. And of course, the Blood Operatives can come back to their hand if they want. Second Blood Operative there. I feel like opponent just kind of forgot about Resplendent Angel's pump ability because we're going to use it this turn. And if they don't have removal, then we just win. Well, we don't just win, but we do get a 4/4 blocker. Drop them down to 3. Make a blocker and get a 4/4 flyer. Is that it there? Opponent swinging out here. We're going to block the Nightfall Predator and take 6. They do go up to 9, but opponent's going to scoop it up. There we go. Let's go to sideboard here. Bring in Ixalan's Binding. Take out Fountain of Renewal. And I think that might be it. Could bring in Tocatli Honor Guard if we think they have like stuff like Ravenous Chupacabra and all that kind of stuff, but they normally would not. That's really one of the few cards that you won't really see in the Dimir lists. We'll see though. Thought Erasure on turn 2, that is not good. Getting rid of Dawn of Hope. Yep, they noticed how powerful that card was, and they definitely dealt with it. Let's go with a Healer's Hawk here, making our Ajani's Pridemate a 3/3. This means it can get past a Deadweight and a Moan of Craving, so that's pretty good. Let's go Vanguard here. Gain some life, make the Pridemate a 4/4, and get in for 5. And now the Pridemate is now a 5/5. So they got to Vraska's Contempt that or Price of Fame it right now, or they're going to lose. Oh! Golden Demise from the opponent. Very good. Getting in for 5 still for us, so we're still doing good damage. Resplendent Angel here. Down to 9. Golden Demise was such a good play for the opponent. Nightfall Predator as well. Can't deal with that with Conclave Tribunal. Let's attack out here. They're going to block the 5/5. They're down to 6. Wow, such a good play. Thought Erasure from the opponent. Getting rid of Lyra Dawnbringer. Let's go land. We need one more land for the Resplendent Angel pump here. Down to 3. Do you have anything to block the flyer? They don't! Nice! This deck list does not flinch at all. I love this deck so much. So powerful. And just a really great way to elongate the match with that extra life gain on top of it. If you like the deck list and you like the matches, make sure to like it if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this around on your social media of choice. It really helps go a long way towards getting the word out there for our content. Really do appreciate you guys for that. And of course, if you have a deck list you want me to cover in the future, just leave it in the comments down below. I'll try and cover it in an upcoming video. As always, these videos are sponsored by Cape Fear Games and MTGO Traders. Get your paper singles and accessories from Cape Fear Games and your digital singles from MTGO Traders. That's it for this video. My name is Taryn, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.